Rains, Debbie Rains, beautiful voice. Quick question: Do I have Brian Davis ready? No. All right. Well, hey, quick question, ladies and gentlemen. How many people are here for a great cause today? Make some noise. That crowd is sounding bigger. I like it. It's getting bigger out here. It's beautiful. My name is Dallas. I'm going to be yakking on this microphone, letting you know what's going on all day. Lots of awesome vendors back over here. I see some goodie bags. I see a large TV, cool records, lots of raffle items. Check out the raffle table over here. Definitely a lot of stuff over there that I want. Sports memorabilia, amazing art. Lots of art over there as well, going on live and over here for sale. And food vendors, kids area in the back. Explore. Enjoy the place. It's been a lot of hard work, and I'm glad to see it's turning out so beautiful. Anyway, Debbie Rains, ladies and gentlemen. Tangible Spirit opened up for us earlier. They put on a great set. If you missed that, I'm sorry for you because it was good. Debbie Rains was just awesome. I got Brian Davis stepping up for some comedy here in a minute. My guys SOS are going to be doing some interlude music all throughout the course of the day. And otherwise, enjoy yourselves. Have some lunch. Have some fun.
I guess you want me to be funny now. I have most recently been trying to discover different ways of disciplining my daughter because, like, for instance, the timeout doesn't work because I'll put her in the corner and she's over there trying to do the cat daddy and playing paper, rock, scissors with her invisible friend. So that did not work. And you can't beat the kids, you know, because of the bruises and all. You know, one day I thought, oh my God, I don't think my hand's ever going to heal. So one day, she comes home from school, and I guess she decided that the best way to get this little girl from stopping drinking at the water fountain was to choke her. And you know, I was like, man, that's good troubleshooting, but can't have my kid running around choking people. So the next day, I went to her school, made a surprise visit at her school, and at lunchtime, dressed in drag. And you know, after a few stares and a dinner date with the principal, I sat down at her table and I'm like, so Charlie, if you want to treat this school like the penitentiary for the elementary, the next time the sundress becomes a mini skirt and the halter top becomes a sports bra. So needless to say, I have not had any more trouble out of her. I've also lately, well actually it's been a couple years ago, I used to work traveling all the time. And I started to notice the people that I worked with, they were older, and they would stop. Every time we'd come into, they'd be like, man, we got to stop by the store and buy, you know, a big, you know, lifetime supply of toilet paper. And finally, you know, after a while, I asked my uncle, I'm like, hey George, why every time we come into town, you got to buy toilet paper? I said, they got hotel stuff and it's free, you know. He's like, well, Brian, I can't use the hotel toilet paper because, 2 rubs and that, I'm going to start a fire in the hole. I got to have that triple quilted, Neosporin injected, lilac scented stuff. And I'm not sure if this is because, you know, you're getting older and maybe it's more sensitive, but for me, myself, I'm 39 and I don't know if it's from all the years I walked around prison with it puckered up trying to keep out intruders that I rubbed a callus on it, because I can wipe with some 20 grit paper, sandpaper I mean, and a drywall rasp. So no big deal, you know. And the good thing about a drywall rasp is that it's reusable, just rinse and reuse, so it's environmentally friendly. So, and also something about, you know, prison, you have to learn to adapt in there. And you know, for a person like my size, you know, little guy, I used to make up this camouflage mask. And it was out of, you know, styrofoam soot, a little bit of cigarette ash, and some shampoo. And then I would just paint my face kind of gray, and my hands gray, and I'd just stand up against the wall with my eyes closed, and then hope nobody would notice me. But one day I almost got caught, because these gangbangers walked by, and they're like, hey, yo, J-Rock, man. What's up, Black Mo? Hey, I don't know if it's all the wet that I smoked before I came in here, but did you happen to notice that brick wall smoking a Cool Filter King? So, needless to say, kids, I quit smoking. So, anyway, you guys might be surprised, you know, that I am still single after hearing all that. But I have tried all of these, different websites, you don't have to be lonely at farmersonly.com. And you didn't know I could sing too, huh? Shocking. But
people don't get it.
yeah, but the green stuff that I was used to growing was not related to theirs, so I did not fit in there. So I went to Plenty of Fish, which I kind of should be renamed Plenty of Sea Creatures. I'm still looking for my Regal Tang. I did have to Google that too because I didn't know what the name of a pretty fish was. So, and they're beautiful if you look it up. But I did happen to go out with one girl, and she was very interesting. About 15 minutes into the date, she was just in and out of consciousness. She'd just kind of lean her head over, and she'd ask me a question. She'd be like, "So what do you do for a living?" And she'd just kind of nod out. And then she'd be back again, and "What do you do for a living?" I'm like, "Wow, my God." So the next time she started to come back around, I'm like, I'm gonna jack with this girl. She starts coming back around, I'm like, "That poor girl, I had her tied up to the bar stool before the cops kicked in the door." The cops, I meant to say, And that brought her around. She kind of woke up out of it. Coming to find out, I'm like, "What's going on with you fading in and out?" She's like, "Well, I smoked a little something before I came in here, a little weed." And I'm like, "Oh, really?" I said, "Well, I've been out of that type of situation for years, so I didn't know weed was code word for heroin." So, later on she tells me that, well, I have recently I got into a car crash and I just burst into flames in this car crash. I'm like, "Oh my God," and I said, "That's disturbing." And she had asked me to come back to the house, and I'm like, "Okay." And I don't want you to, to feel like you guys to think that I'm like a burn victim racist, but I kind of like a lady with had a little, and some, some of that. And I didn't want to go back to the house and she started taking off her shirt, and it looked like someone flung a bowl of oatmeal against the wall. So I had her leave the clothes on. I also tried that one website, whereblackpeoplemeet.com. 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 They're very smooth. And I hadn't been hit on by that many male convicts since I got out of prison. So, yeah, that was no good for me. Last but not least, there was this show, it was called like Detective Files or something, and the guy, no matter what he was talking about, it would sound intimidating. It was just scary, no matter what. So I wrote my own little story about it, my own little case, and I don't do impersonations, so we're going to pretend that this is how the guy sounded. It was an early Saturday morning, small town outside of Kansas City, Missouri, when Carol Steinheimingberg, yes, 100% Jewish woman, was shuffling her way down the short hallway in her fluffy octopus slippers towards a dimly lit kitchen. Upon entering the kitchen, Caroline reaches for her favorite cereal bowl, which is just an oversized coffee mug that says, "When bunnies fly, donkeys die." Yes, Caroline had a strange sense of humor, even giggled a little every time she would read it. She then reaches atop her refrigerator for a box of cereal. Yes, atop the refrigerator, because this kitchen does not have enough dang cabinet space. She then proceeds over to, she skilly-dilly-doos over towards the table. And not knowing what is about to happen next, Caroline begins to pour the cereal into the bowl. Out of nowhere, a dull knock rat-a-tat-tats upon the door. Startling Caroline when she flings the cereal over the kitchen floor. After mumbling a few unpleasantries, Caroline looks down at it and says, "My God, I don't even own a watch." And then she thinks, who could be coming to see me this early in the morning? So she snap, crackles, and pops her way towards the kitchen door, or to the front door, one of those doors. She's there at the door. She cracks it just enough to see a tall man in a dark suit standing there, what looks like to be holding a black leather book bag. And he looks at Caroline and he says in a subtle tone, "Good morning, ma'am. Would you like to learn about Jehovah?" Ah! A blood-curdling scream reigns throughout the town. And that was the case of the Jewish nightmare. And that is all I have. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for asking me to come up here too, Heather. I love you guys.